what's important to you.
Why am I buying this engagement ring?
Yeah.
What does this actually mean to me?
Tell me about your story. Tell me about your lifestyle. Tell me about your values. If I can't connect with somebody emotionally, how am I going to make a piece for them that's going to connect to them emotionally?
You deserve to live the life that you want.
Yeah.
And you deserve the jewelry too, honey.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. I am here with Lisa, the one half of Amari, and her husband, Baz, unfortunately isn't here with us, Basil, but that's okay. We're here to talk about jewelry, fine jewelry, bespoke jewelry, custom pieces, milestones, heirlooms, all of the reasons why we love our jewels. And I'm really excited to welcome Lisa here.
Thank you.
For Get Wedded in Wonderland. I love sitting with founders because it takes real gusto and faith and risk to start a business, especially in jewelry, which is a very competitive market. Yeah. Why did you start? Where did Amari come from?
Yeah. Okay. So it all started with my love story.
Okay.
So my fiance at the time, who's now my husband, he asked me, what type of ring do you want? Because we knew we wanted to get married. And I said to him, a few years ago, I saw a friend who had 2 stones and I was like, I just love that. He's like, why 2? And I said, why not? Like, if you can have one.
2 is better than 1, honey.
2 is better than 1.
I love that.
And then he asked me a really interesting question. He said, well, what's important to you about the ring? And I was just like, I was so blown away. I'm like, let's just get married now. Like, this is, you've got me. And I said to him, I really want to support small Australian businesses. So I wanted to find a company that was a local Australian business and supporting Australian gold. And also I wanted to find a company that had ethical practices. You know, you hear so much about, when you go blood diamond and there's just so much out there and it's hard to know who to trust.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, what's important to me is connection. I really value connecting with people and somebody understanding me, especially when you get such a timeless piece. You want it to be something so meaningful.
Yeah.
And so we kind of looked at each other and we're like, why don't we give people what we want? Because we tried to look for all of those things and I reached out to a few people and he reached out, but I just wasn't getting that connection. Like it was more of a transactional buy when we'd go to jewelers and it's like, it was almost like a rush purchase. I'm like, can you just understand what I want and what I value?
I'm going to be wearing this forever.
I'm going to be wearing it forever, right? Like I need to love it. I want to look at it every day and just be so obsessed with it. But I just felt like they weren't getting it.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to bring that into the jewelry industry. And that's really why we started it, because we wanted to give people what we wanted in the experience. And we just love. And so we believe like the more of it that we can share, and because it's got our love story in it, then the better like the world will be.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you believe jewelry holds a certain energy?
Absolutely. Like it's just so loving, especially when it's your piece and you've like got it to exactly how you want it and the intention is there. I think that's what people miss when they don't have the intention and meaning behind the piece and it's just a piece, right?
Yeah.
But when you've got all the love in there and you've got what it means to you and your values, it's energy.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And energy that you are creating by creating the piece and then obviously having your couples or your customers come and actually purchase that.
Yes,
it's being made with love.
Yes, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's obviously being paid forward.
Yes, and that's really what drives us. So everything that we do is made with love. The conversations that we have, we don't really like to do transactional buys at all. That's why our website's very minimal. We like to understand the person and their story and bring that into the pieces.
So what does it look like to have a custom piece made in Australia?
So first of all, if anyone would just say to me, can I, order something? I sit with them and I'm like, tell me about your story. Tell me about your lifestyle. Tell me about your values. And so once I get all of those things and understand what's personalized and meaningful to them, we'll then sit down and we design a piece and we use a CAD drawing so they can see what it looks like. And we work with companies who are RJC certified, which means Responsible Jewellery Council. And those are the companies that use those ethical practices that I was talking about. So we'll work with those companies. We'll design the piece on a CAD drawing. We'll get the couple or the purchaser to see it. They'll give us the approval. They can make any changes and then it goes through production. Here in Australia, we actually do it in South Australia. So it's all locally made. Diamonds are all from Australia. And then about 3 or 4 weeks after that, the diamond's there and the ring's there.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
So how do you consult with couples or customers online? What does that look like?
Yeah. So we have like a discovery call, like
Yeah.
clarity call process, and we'll sit with them. And sometimes I've sat with couples for almost an hour because I like
Wow.
to just delve into their
Yeah.
story. How did they
Mhm.
meet? And then how do we bring that into the ring?
Yeah.
And some people will look at me like, but you know, you might not get the sale. But I said to people, it's not about the sale for me. It's about connecting with them. And I want them to feel heard and understood and feel valued. I want that to transition into their pieces.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that we have become so transactional in life.
Yeah.
Jewelry is still one of those things that we can really hold on to, that holds weight.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like as I've even gotten older and with my friends, jewelry carries more meaning with time.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. It
You know, like
does.
you get the piece and you love it, but then you're like, oh my goodness, I've actually been wearing this for 5 years or for 10 years.
Yeah.
And knowing that, you know, people can come back to you for additional pieces or whatever it is, I
Yeah.
think that's also really wonderful.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that most of the work we're getting is
Yeah.
from referrals because people are saying, we just love the connection that she had with us. And
Yeah.
that's my why into the whole business. If I can't connect with somebody emotionally, how am I going to make a piece for them that's going to connect to them emotionally? So before I think about anything, it's like I'm listening to them, I'm understanding what is it that they actually want and how do we bring that and the energy into their piece.
So what kind of stones do you work with? Do you work with lab diamonds? Do you work with pearls? Do you work with, like, talk me through coloured stones?
Everything
Okay.
from coloured stones to natural to lab. That's
Yeah.
why we're so lucky here in Australia
Yes.
that we have access to everything. Some stones like the opal, a little bit harder to find, but we have access to everything. So it's really about what people actually want. You know, we get often asked that question, lab grown versus natural. It's one of our biggest questions. And when you look at both, you can't tell, right? Because they're both a diamond.
Yes.
They're both the same. They just are formed differently.
Yes.
And so I say to people again, what's important to you? You know, if budget's a bit more important, then we work in the parameters of perhaps a lab grown.
Yeah.
And then, or I'll say to somebody, if you get a lab grown, then you might be able to spend that extra and get a Gucci bag instead of
Yeah, right.
yeah, instead of getting the natural.
We're very economical
Very
here.
economical, yeah. But they look the same.
Is the cleaning the same?
The cleaning is the exact same.
Really?
Yeah, the
So
cleaning.
you use the same, you know, because I know that I've got this like jewelry cleaner that was given to me some time ago. So the lab-grown diamond, you know, necklace or engagement ring, whatever it is, can actually be cleaned the same way.
The exact same way. We've tested it out. We even have a jewelry cleaner.
Okay.
That's one of those like ultrasonic ones.
Yeah.
And we've compared it, it's come the same way. We've compared different things. It all comes out the same. You can't actually tell.
Okay.
And so that's why we encourage it, especially because it is a lot more ethical as well.
Okay.
As opposed to the natural. But,
Yeah.
you know, if natural is what people prefer and that's important to the couple, then you go
So
with
be
natural.
it.
Yeah. There's no right or wrong.
You know, I think it's just so great that we have options now.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people have a lot to say about lab-grown diamonds, but I think for those couples, especially the ones who want the bigger rock,
Yes.
or want, you know, something that is more affordable or economical,
Yeah.
then why not give them the option?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then for those who want, it's still there. The natural diamonds are
That's
still
right.
there. They're not
still
going
there.
anywhere.
Exactly. They're still around.
Yep.
They're still available. And it's interesting you say that. We had a couple come to us and it was her second ring. So she originally had said to her partner, I don't care if it's natural or lab. I just want a bigger stone. I know what I want. He didn't listen to her and he went and got a natural stone that was a lot smaller because he thought that's important to him and that's how he shows his love. She was not happy.
It's like a love language.
It is.
Right?
Right.
With jewelry.
It is.
It's like my love language is big, honey.
Yes, exactly. Like that's my love. And the problem with love languages, right? We often love people how we want to be loved, but not how the other person wants to be loved. And so that's what he did. He loved her in how he wants to be loved because in his mind and in his family tradition.
Authentic.
Yes. His parents were like, you have to go natural.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be anything other than that. He didn't listen to her. So then they came to us after that and she was not happy.
Yeah.
And he was like, I should have listened to her.
Yeah.
So we're giving that ring away and now we're starting from scratch. And she got the lab grown and it was a lot bigger and she was so happy.
She's happy.
She's happy. But,
Yeah.
but that's the problem. We're not listening.
Yes.
He wasn't listening to what she was actually saying.
Yeah.
Listen to her. And that's why I always say, what's important to you? Just like my husband asked, what's important to you about the ring?
Yeah.
Those ethical practices were important to me. What's important to you? And a lot of jewelers don't ask that question. They're not listening out for the language. That's the difference.
They're going more, it's so funny because when we speak about even just sales and psychology, if you talk about the product, that's all the person will focus on. If you talk about the why they want the product, then they start focusing on the relationship they're building with you.
Yeah.
And they start thinking about the reason.
Yes.
Why am I buying this engagement ring?
Yeah.
What does this actually mean to me?
Exactly.
Is it a real and true reflection of my love, of what my partner wants? Are you finding now that couples are selecting the ring together? Because there's a bit of a trend towards, I don't know who's actually being surprised with the ring they've never seen.
Yeah, it's really uncommon now. We're seeing a lot of couples come together. Like a lot of the people that we've had discovery calls, it'll be both people because women know what they want and they're now not afraid to say it. Back in the day, they'd be like, oh, I don't want to say what I want because I'm not humble. Or I just want it to be a surprise. But then what's happened is they weren't happy with it.
Yes.
And then 5 years down the track, they're getting another ring.
Yes,
So
remodeling is big.
It's huge. It's huge because they weren't consolidated or they weren't asked what's important to you. Some people don't want to be a part of it and then that's also okay.
Yeah.
But I also recommend the guy then ask, well, what is important to you? Stone size, height, lab, natural. So just get a bit of an idea. I wouldn't go in blind. Some people say to me, oh, I haven't spoken to her. I have no idea what she wants. So can you help me?
Yeah.
And I'll say, well, I'm going to give you a list of questions to ask her.
And then,
and then come back to me.
Then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
You know what I did the other day? I went and bought a practice ring. Okay. There was a particular style of ring that I really wanted. And I thought, is it going to suit me? Is it practical for me? Is it actually going to work?
Yeah.
And by day 3, I was like, take this ring off me. I hate it. It doesn't suit me. And I gave it to Nadia. I was like, take the ring. And she was like, what is this? And I'm like, it's my practice ring. And she goes, what are you? And I said, I have learned. I was obsessing over this style of ring for so long. But I put it on and I was like, no, it just is not for me. And I do think that there is something to that as well. So that's going to be my tip.
Yeah.
Practice.
Yes.
Get a practice ring. Get it from, one of these sort of chain stores or whatever.
Yes.
So you actually understand the practicality. I had a cousin of mine who wanted to buy a 3-carat ring for his partner.
Okay.
And I said, and the style of the ring, like the it was protruding, like it was a big, really. And I said, your partner works in healthcare. I don't know if she's going to be able to wear that ring every day. If you want her to wear it every day, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to get a second ring.
Yes.
No, she'll be fine. I said, just think about it.
Yes.
Either rework the style or think about something that is a little smaller, that's a bit more practical. And, nobody wants to go smaller because, but at the end of the day, if you do want to wear your engagement ring every day,
you have to think of lifestyle.
Yes.
Have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just think that practice rings is not a bad idea.
I think they're great.
And then if you don't want your partner, if you want to surprise your partner, because I think now the surprise is in the proposal.
Correct. I was going to say that. Yes.
Yeah?
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
It's only in the proposal.
Yeah.
Most women are now wanting to choose what they want. Again, if they don't, that's also okay. But we don't want to know when we're going to get proposed to. So keep that the surprise, and have the whole thing if that's what suits your lifestyle. Women still love that because that is quite traditional. And we're seeing that there is a bit of a shift towards tradition as opposed to trends. The one thing with trends, and I love that you said that you try a practice ring on because so many people will come to us, even if it's a bespoke piece and not an engagement piece, they'll be like, I want this. And it'll be a photo. And we love photos for inspiration. But I'll say to them, have you tried it on? Have you tried on something similar? Do you know, like, how will it fit in your lifestyle? And they'll be like, no, it's fine. And then they'll come back and be like, actually, I didn't love it on me.
Yeah.
And so the thing with trends is that they're great for inspiration, but we need to keep them as that, and we need to bring in our lifestyle and our values into the piece, especially timeless pieces. And we really pride ourselves on creating timeless pieces. Like every piece we make is with intention.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have that big collection. It's like milestone pieces. Almost all our pieces have the infinity because of the love that ties between.
I love that.
And it's just so special.
Yeah.
So everything is with intention. But if you're going for just trends, you're probably not going to be very happy with it.
In the future.
Yeah.
So right now, if somebody was to jump onto your website, can they buy pieces from you?
Yes.
Does everything have to be custom made? Mother's Day's coming up. We see a lot of, like I said, gifting take place, first anniversary, push presents, all of these things.
Yeah.
that are sometimes a bit of an afterthought.
Yes.
So what happens in that regard?
Yeah, so we've got our collection, which is our staple pieces. So we've got the infinity bangle or bracelet, which is over here. Not sure if our listeners can see.
Yeah.
And then the necklace as well.
Beautiful.
We've got the Mother's Day bangle that's just come out. So it's a 18 karat gold bangle with birthstones in it, and you can choose the birthstones of your kids. So special.
Oh, that's really special.
The foundation is the same, but you can choose how many birthstones. So some people are buying it for their grandmother.
I've never heard of that.
It's stunning. So that's just been released on our website.
Yeah.
We've got our Infinite Bond pinky ring.
I love this.
Yeah, it's so
I'm going to try it on afterwards just so PS. I love a beautiful pinky
and that's
ring.
like you almost can see the infinity as well.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And, the elongated shapes are coming in. Earlier you asked what's kind of the trend. We're seeing the elongated shapes, whether it's the pear, the marquise, or the
I love elongated marquise, I have to say. Yeah, can you show the ring to that camera? Yes. I'm actually going to try that on, by the way.
Yeah, you can definitely try it on. It's tight. It might fit you.
I don't know if it will actually.
Might be a little bit small, but we can kind of get it on.
Gorgeous.
It's so stunning.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's our new piece, that and the bangle for Mother's Day. But, yes, we have pieces that people can purchase that are milestone presents, and then we encourage the bespoke pieces.
And in terms of pieces you make, necklaces, bracelets,
engagement rings, wedding bands.
Earrings
as well.
Okay.
Yes. Everything's on there.
Everything. And also, what about the wedding band?
Yes, of course, the wedding band.
We can't forget him.
He's so important. People just forget.
Why?
I don't know why they forget. I know. When people are choosing their engagement ring, I'll often say to them, okay, we need to talk about the wedding band now. And they're like, oh, no, we'll just decide that later.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, but if she doesn't sit flush with your engagement ring. What? No.
That happened to me.
That happened
to me, yeah. So my wedding band wasn't designed with my engagement ring, and then it was too thick. Yeah, and so I don't wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I wear
sad.
something else. I know. And I wish, but it was matching my partner's. So he wears his and he's fine. But it doesn't suit me. But his fingers are very different to mine as well. Like I've got really long, piano hands.
Yes.
And his hands are the complete opposite. So I also think that you do need to go with a style that suits your hands.
Yes. That's
to a point.
100%. That's what brides get wrong.
Yes.
It's one of the biggest things that we're seeing.
Okay.
They're choosing a style, again, that's a picture that A, doesn't go with the height and setting of the engagement ring. And then it also doesn't look good on their hair.
Yeah.
So I'm like, try lots on.
So can you tell me, okay, so for piano fingers, what do you suggest? If you were to design a ring for me right now.
Yes, show me
really
your hands.
long, okay.
Yes. So you need something you don't want too much of a thick band.
Yes.
Okay. So I wouldn't go ultra thin. I would do like in between, and I would probably go a round. So not so much of a flat surface, more of a round surface.
All right.
It'll kind of cover your hands really gently.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
even like this shape, because of the different shape, it will elongate your fingers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to suit me, hey?
So that could be your Mother's Day present.
I'm loving the sounds of this bangle. I want to see it. I want to see it. It sounds amazing.
I know, mine's currently in production.
Oh, I love that.
That was my Mother's Day bangle, and then this was my birthday because it was my birthday 2 days ago. So
happy birthday!
Thank you. So this is my birthday. I know.
Hey?
We do love our diamonds.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is the month of diamonds.
It is the month of diamonds. I'm like, everyone's like, what's your birthday? I'm like, diamonds, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And I do like the fact that, with gifting again, knowing your birthstone and incorporating that in other things potentially. Even we've seen it with engagement rings now too.
Yes, we're seeing it in engagement rings. Again, that's what makes it personalised and meaningful.
Yeah.
Even in this, we had a client who had the round as her birthstone.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
We just want people to look down and be so in love with their pieces.
Yeah.
They just make me happy.
Yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful. Do you guys because I know tennis bracelets and tennis necklaces are
huge.
All the rage.
Yes.
Do you guys design them? Do you make them as well?
Yes. We've got one coming out. It's
really
very exciting. Yes, we've done our CAD drawing. We've got the design. It's currently in production. It's stunning. It's beautiful. It's one of those things that, again, it's like, do you kind of go with trends or do you not? And with the tennis, because it's so timeless.
It is.
Like, we have to have it in our piece. And she's so beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm excited to see that.
So many exciting things coming.
Yeah. Oh, how wonderful. So talk me through right now, if I am looking to propose and I'm thinking, all right, well, I just want to know what my options are. Do you, through your booking process and your quoting process, Do you give people options in terms of price? Like if
Mhm.
it's lab grown, it's this. If it's
Mhm.
natural, it's that.
Mhm.
Just so people kind of go, okay, well, I know what I'm working with here.
Yeah.
And then how do people actually, like, let's be real, how do they actually pay you?
Yeah.
What does the deposit look
Yeah.
like?
Yeah.
When do they make the full payment? Can you
Yeah.
talk me through
Yeah,
that
yeah,
process
no
a
worries.
bit?
So once I have a really good understanding as to what's, again, important to them, I'll listen out for the language that they're using. What do they value? What do they want? And then once I've got a bit of an idea, I'm like, okay, they're telling me this is their budget. So I kind of have an idea of, how big do we go?
Yeah.
What diamond size can I match with that? What will look good? And then I'll give them an estimate. I never give the full price straight away because I've obviously got to go back, and gold goes up every single day or goes down. There's like this total inflation.
oscillating. Yeah.
It's always up and down. So it's based on the weight of the gold at the time of the order.
Right.
So I'll
Okay.
always put in like an estimate to give them a bit of an idea.
Okay.
And then from there, they put their deposit. So if they've said, okay, yes, I love everything, they'll put a small deposit down.
Mhm.
And then once the piece is finished, then they pay for the full amount and then we send it off to them.
How much are people spending on engagement rings today, darling?
Yes.
Let's just be real because, I mean, I think that, again, the lab grown has really thrown a spanner in the works. We were seeing an upward trajectory on the spend. I
Yeah.
still think it's there, but people are getting something different for it.
Yes.
Would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. What we're seeing and what people have got to look out for is they've got to find out where the gold is made because that makes a big difference. So a lot of the gold in Australia isn't made here, and so it's outsourced overseas, which again is fine, but that's going to impact on the pricing. So because our gold is made in Australia, it's a little bit more expensive, and that was okay with us because that's what we value and that's what we wanted to
I've never
bring in.
heard, can I tell you,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, I've never heard a jeweler, and I know a lot of jewelers, that we speak about sourcing the stone, but I've never heard, a jeweler speak about sourcing the gold.
Yeah, because a lot of it's not
Really?
made.
I've never had this conversation.
Because a lot of it's not made here. It's actually like, and this is again when I said to him, I want to get Australian gold, it was so hard to find. I was like, because I would call up and I'm like, where's your jewelry? Where's your gold from? And they're like, oh, we get it from overseas or it's ethically sourced. I'm like, okay, but where? And I couldn't get the answer. Like there was not a lot in Australia.
Wow.
And so some people say to us, oh, your gold seems a bit more expensive. And I'll say, yes, that's because we get it in Australia. And that's just something that is important to us. And again, it is. And what I'm seeing is that it actually is a lot more important to people than I realized. Like some people are, oh, I don't really care. And again, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm finding the more that I've been in this space and I've been focusing on Australian gold, I'm just attracting people that
But I
also
think
value
that's a really unique selling proposition. Like if we're going to speak in business terms, it is something that is, I find really, really fascinating because we have been so centrally focused on the stone for so long or the diamond. And we haven't really spoken about what it's being set in.
Yeah. So with that in mind, you can go to your everyday jeweler and the prices of lab grown, you can pick up a ring for about $3,000.
Yes.
What we're seeing is that the average is about 5, anywhere between like 5 and 10. About 10 is on the higher side for a lab grown. That's probably with the 2 stone. But yeah, around that 5 to 8 mark is what we're kind of seeing. But again, you can find lab grown engagement rings for about that 3, 4 price range, which again is so great for people who that is their budget.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, it's so good that we have the opportunity to, be able to cater in this day and age to people who do want that bigger stone who, 10 years ago wouldn't have been able to afford it.
Yes.
So I love that for people.
It's so interesting because we work with so many different couples. We have, guys and girls who come to us all the time looking for engagement rings. And some people will prefer to spend on that ring and have a preference because they're like, that's forever. I'm happy to actually spend this on my wedding dress or this on my flowers, but the ring, it has to be, and we've had the instance where it's a $25,000 engagement ring.
Yeah.
It's a natural, it's a 2 carat.
Yeah.
It's all of those things because that's what they want. So I think what people are doing right now is it's kind of like this, they know they're getting married.
Yeah.
It's a puzzle. And they're thinking, okay, well, I'm going to move this around because this is actually what I want. And they're the options that are being considered.
Yeah.
And really what they're looking for is value for money.
Yes.
They're looking to be taken care of.
Yeah.
More often than not, they haven't bought a piece of jewelry or custom designed a piece of jewelry before.
Yeah.
So they're learning through the process.
Yeah.
And that educational piece is so vital.
Yes.
Because this is probably, again, the first of a lifelong journey
Yeah.
of buying jewelry.
Yes, yes. And I'm so glad that you said that, because it's the education people are wanting. There is so much out there. You know, men, women are getting so overstimulated with trends, budget, decisions. Will it look good on her? And the market is saturated. And it's like, where do I go? What do I do? So then you end up just going to whatever's convenient because it's so overwhelming. And so what I like to do is really break it down and educate people and explain the entire process, but also understand, like, again, what is important to you.
Yeah.
And once you have a good understanding as to what's important, and then you educate them through that process, they feel guided. And then when people feel guided, there's less pressure, and then they have clarity to make a decision.
And they enjoy the process.
They enjoy the process.
Yeah.
You know how many couples have said to me, oh my God, I actually really enjoyed talking to you and designing this. Like, I just wanted to get it done. But then I realized that it was the journey with you that I enjoyed so much.
So sweet.
Nice, yeah.
And with proposals, because we get, again, contacted often for destination proposals. We're finding that's a bit of a thing. People do like to surprise with, you know, whether it's a local destination, whether it's booking a hotel room, a rooftop, you know, wherever it is in the world, to have that surprise element attached to that. But also and I think in a post-COVID world, we did see just the home proposals.
Yeah.
You know, we look at, I mean, Meghan and Harry, who are here at the moment.
Yes.
He proposed, you know, in the comfort of their own home.
Yeah.
What are you seeing from that perspective in trend, in what's happening with the proposal?
What we're seeing is that women will sometimes say they don't want the big proposal because they want to seem humble, like they don't want to come across as, you know, materialistic. Then they're upset because they didn't get the proposal that they want.
Yeah.
And so what we need to see is honesty. We need to have those conversations with our partner to say, I actually really love a big proposal.
Yeah.
And I don't want to feel bad about that.
Yeah. And I want my family there, or I don't.
want my family there.
And I want a party there, or I don't.
That's right. Or I actually just wanted a home because that's what means something to me and to us.
Yeah.
And so I think having that communication and that honesty from the get-go is going to have a lot more positive repercussions later on. That communication, just explain what is it that you actually want. There's actually a really good book called The Empowered Wife. And have you read that book?
No.
And she stresses how when women tell their partner exactly what they want, they're more likely going to get it. The husband or the partner is happier because he understands what she wants.
Yeah.
And she's happier because she's getting what she wants. So if we relate it back to proposals, having the conversation with, I want to have a surprise. I want to be away on a boat, or I love the idea of being around water, or I love the idea of being in a destination, or I love the idea of being home. Having those conversations early, because you're only then going to be happier if you get those things. And if you don't get them, you might be a little bit disappointed.
I actually love that. And we need to find this book and share it with everyone.
That's a great book.
Because I think as women, asking for what we want in life, in business, in family is really challenging.
So hard.
And I think that also, in particular, when you come from a cultural background, it's not part of our vernacular.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's seen and it's perceived to be a little bit too forceful, a little bit too direct.
Yeah.
And it's not a challenge. It's not a challenge to say, this is what I like in jewelry, or this is how I want my proposal to be, or this is how I want my wedding to be.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's listening to people.
Yes.
And the entire industry, I think, is realizing as well, the wedding industry, is that every couple has a unique love story.
Yes.
You know, and that starts from the beginning of their journey. And then the way that they want their proposal, their engagement ring, their wedding to play out is to reflect that.
Exactly. That's what we're seeing. That's the trend, in like the positive trend that we're seeing. It's less about tradition for tradition's sake, and it's more about what do we actually want and how do we incorporate our story, our lifestyle, our budget, our everything. People are wanting to know everything and anything that they need to know, and they're wanting that in the entire process, which is great because then you have less regrets.
Yes.
And you've got more timeless memories and pieces.
Yeah. Before we started this podcast, we had a quick connection actually on the road. I saw you looking around and I'm like, that's her.
There she is.
I'm here. The woman's wife.
yes.
As the bride arrived.
Wendy.
So I'm, you know, this is why I love doing this, to be honest with you, because bringing the human connection and showing our couples who is actually behind the wedding industry.
Yeah.
Who is the person that's designing your pieces? What is their story?
Yeah.
And what is their why? Where does this ambition actually come from?
Yeah.
You know, you've shared with me that you are a mother of 2.
Yeah.
And you've recently moved to Adelaide.
Yeah.
And you have a bit of a love journey yourself. So talk us through that, because I think that probably is a big motivator for you.
Yeah, well, it's really the reason how the brand came alive. So I was previously married for about 10 years and I went through a separation around 29 when I was 29. And that was challenging in itself. And I had 2 kids. My kids were 3 and 4 at the time. And, you know, as a female and as a single mum, trying to find your feet and still love, even though, you know, you had gone through a divorce. So I never gave up on love. That was something that I was really proud of. Like so many people said to me, oh, what, you'll never get married again because marriage is just too hard and you had a failed marriage. And I was like, no, I know I'll find it again. And this time I'm older and wiser and I kind of know what I want. And so I never gave up hope on love. And I think that that's such a key element. You know, when you're hurt, it's so easy to just be angry at the world and just give up. But I always felt like I was going to find my person. And I actually met my husband it was April 2 years ago. And I saw him at a wedding in South Australia. And I looked at him and I'm like, who is that tall man? Who's that lovely tall man? And I asked somebody about him and someone's like, oh, he's younger. So just like, don't even worry about it. I'm like, oh, age is just a number. Like, I'm young and like I look young. And
you do look young. That's honestly,
I turned 37.
Yeah, no, you're so youthful.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I use beef tallow on my face.
Do?
I love it.
Like Salma Hayek?
Yes, it's so life-changing.
Oh my goodness, we have to talk about this.
We have to talk about that.
Okay, all right. We need to access this beef tallow. Okay.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So we kind of bumped into each other and I knew from the moment I started talking to him that he was going to be my husband. Honestly, there was something about him. He asked me, because I have written a book. I'm actually an author as well. And my book's called Love More. And he had seen me on, you know, he'd seen me on one of my books and he asked me a question about it. And I was like, you know, they don't really ask me questions. Like, my husband got a lot of emotional intelligence. So one reason why I very much love him. And so he was talking to me and I just knew I was going to marry him. And then we got talking and I was like, look, I've got kids. They're amazing. But I was very upfront very early on. I'm not here for games. Again, going back to what is it that you want? I really want a healthy relationship. And a few people said to me, like, would that not have scared him away? I'm like, no, for the right person, it doesn't scare them away.
Yes.
The wrong person, it would scare them away. So at least you know very early on
what the intention
is. So I was very clear with my intention. It was like, yep, I know you've got kids. Like, they look beautiful. I'm like, they're the center of my world. I love. Families are very important to me and being of service is really important to me. And he was very much of the same values. And I knew because our values were aligned that it was just going to work. So 6 months later, he proposed.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and so he had met the kids, met my family, a few of my family members. Some people were like, "Wait, what? You're in a relationship
and you're getting
engaged and you've got 2 stones on you." I just knew very early on. And so whilst all that was happening, I was in the transition of moving from New South Wales to South Australia, introducing him to my kids. There was so much happening. And then the talk of the jewelry business as well. And so for us, it was about how to incorporate love, service, and family all into the one and into a business that can really be something of connection and of our values. And that's really how the jewelry business came alive.
So this is like your 3rd baby.
Yeah.
This is, you know, a love story in itself.
Yes. This is why we're so in love with the brand. And that's why we won't just put out pieces for the sake of putting them out. And this is why I'll sit with couples, even if it takes me 2 hours, because I want them to experience what we got to experience.
Yeah. I just think that is incredible. And I just want to say kudos to you because you're going to give so many women hope who aren't in relationships and the ones that are, that really want something that is authentic and a reflection of their love that you know, you can actually design something for them.
Yeah.
And, you know, to anyone who's listening, it's really about connection through jewelry.
It is.
And having your own love story designed in a way that you can wear it.
Yes.
Which I think is extraordinary too. So I just want to say thank you so much for your time and for being here with us. You need to be talking more because your love story and, you know, because I have friends of mine who are going through cousins a really hard time at
So
the
horrible,
moment,
yeah.
and you do lose hope.
You do.
And the other thing is that you strip your jewelry off.
You do.
Like
I don't
that
want
is,
any representation of them or that time in my life, and you just like,
that's so real. Like it's like, okay, well, the one thing that I've been wearing for so long, I'm now removing that.
yeah,
And that's a piece of you that you have, that holds so many of those memories.
yeah,
And you need to, as much as you even loved that piece,
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of people do take it off.
yeah.
We have situations where partners ask for it back.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. I saw it recently.
What's the deal with that?
I don't know. They just feel like they left me or
Yeah.
it didn't work out, so they don't deserve this.
Yeah.
And not only do they want the ring, they want all the jewelry that the family's ever gotten them. We're seeing that
Yeah.
so often. It's like people feel like they need to hold on and possess and be in control. It's a control thing. That's what it comes down to. But it's easy to lose hope, especially after you go through something like that. What people don't talk about is the grieving process.
Yes.
Like when you lose somebody and when a relationship ends, even though you might be the one that left, you still grieve that person.
Yes.
And no one ever acknowledges that or how hard that is to go through and navigate. But it's so real. And it's something, again, that women don't often talk about, which is a shame.
Yeah. I think that there is, the stigma isn't around divorce, I don't think necessarily as much as it used to be. It's around, well, we told you wouldn't be able to cope. Every guy's going to be the same.
Yeah.
What are the children going to do now?
Yeah.
What example are you setting for them?
Yeah.
It's all of the things that come with it that you have to, as a female, for women who are working as well. I see right now, especially with it, the situation in Australia, the cost of living, I see these posts on Facebook. It breaks my heart. Single mums who are trying to make it work.
Yeah.
And then these comments like, well, you chose to be a single
I
mum.
know.
And I'm like, are you guys for real? Like, is you in actually, like, this is the definition of insanity.
It's crazy.
Is to attack someone who's asking for help or trying to navigate life. And find a community. Find people who have been through something like this before. And, all they want to see is that there is light on the other side.
That's right. They just want that hope.
Yeah.
So when I first left, everyone was like, not so much my immediate family, but the wider family were like, you'll have to deal with everything on your own now. Like, and if I had a moment of like weakness, they're like, we told you it would be hard. I'm like, just let me cry.
I know.
I'm strong every other day. I just need a moment to cry.
And do you think that I wanted this? I think this is what it comes down to. It's like, no, I did not enter this relationship, thinking, well, I'm just going to be
on my
a
own.
fabulous divorcee and just be like, well, you know what? Yeah, I just took the easy way out. It's not for majority of people.
It's harder. It's actually harder.
It's far more difficult. It's a decision that is really challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we really need to give people some grace in life.
Yeah.
And this is why I also think you need to share your story, because you are the hope and you are light. Like you yourself as a person, you have a beautiful energy about you. You really do. And I think that people need to see that, because you don't believe if you don't see.
Yeah.
And not enough women share their stories, because even if they have found love again, it's like, even culturally, there's like, babe.
Yeah.
You can't talk about that,
don't
because
talk
now,
about that.
now, you're going to be encouraging women.
Yes, I know.
To leave their husbands.
Do you know how many people I used to get that?
Holly keeps nodding.
All the time. It's like, you can't talk about it too much, because I'm also a coach, right? So
I can hear it.
I'm
I recognize a coach.
And
it
so,
takes one to know one, babe.
A lot of people will be like, oh, she's encouraging people with her book. She was encouraging people. I'm like, I didn't even mention anything about leaving, like in my book. I mentioned loving yourself first.
But that's what it comes down to. It comes down to loving yourself, being vulnerable, permission to be vulnerable in front of the people who probably will be the first to pass judgment. And at the end of the day, finding people who won't.
Yeah.
And just getting through it.
Yeah.
And that, whether it's it's 6 months or 6 years, whatever it is, it's knowing that you deserve to live the life that you want.
Yeah.
And you deserve the jewelry too, honey. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Honestly, for being here and for sharing your story. And there's so much to it. And, this is what it's really about. It's about getting to the core of the why, because I think couples also, especially Gen Z, they're so outspoken and they're so sick of, this industry that's closed.
Yeah.
And behind closed doors, they don't really understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And they can't connect to people that are servicing them.
Yeah.
And they don't want the transaction.
Yeah.
they want an emotional connection, or they just want to
Correct.
be taken care of. And again, that's something that we really need to be focusing on.
Yeah.
So you need to be talking more,
Yeah,
girl.
thank you. This has been like a really
Yeah.
nice reminder of that. Like, especially going into something like this, the market is so saturated
It
and they're
is.
so competitive. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh, but you know, you might not have all the followers just yet. I'm like, I know, because I just want to build it slowly. I'm
Yeah.
not here for like overnight success. I want to do it properly. But this has been a nice reminder that I actually
Rome
do.
wasn't built in a day,
Yes.
you know. I had someone the other day ask me about how long I've been in the industry, and I forget that it's been 17 years.
Wow.
Which is almost like half my life. Not really, a third. Let's be real.
Today it is.
But I do think that there is something to be said about wanting to build a legacy yourself, because there's intention with that.
Yeah.
And there's also commitment. It's that, well, I'm not going away tomorrow.
Yeah.
I've built this over time.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to learn over time, and
Yeah.
I want to grow over time, and
Yeah.
I want to be able to service people time and time again.
Yeah.
You know, that's also really important.
Yeah.
We're actually at the moment building out a membership with our couples that is intentional for lifelong celebrations.
Oh, that's so nice.
Because what we've realized is we have our couples who come back and they're like, you know, 10 years ago, Wedded Wonderland was everything. I booked everything through you guys. You helped me with my dress. You helped me with my venue.
Aww.
And so now I have my daughter's christening, or I want to be able to host my, you know, we're seeing vow renewals. You know, but now I want to do it in Bali, or I want to do it in Mexico, or, you know, I want to be able to book a, we had a couple the other day, the 50th birthday, and they want to go for a 6-week holiday in Italy. And so they're coming to us because there's that trust factor. There's a history.
Amazing.
So we're really working on building that out through the travel and accommodation component.
Yeah.
And also through the event component, because we work in 54 countries. We have the contacts with planners, with designers, with venues all over the world.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're really focusing on. I'm thinking of the name.
Yeah.
That's what I'm actually like.
Okay.
I literally, because I want it to be a membership that's not, obviously Wedded Wonderland is what everyone knows us for.
Yeah.
But I feel like it needs to be something that's reflective of, you know, the journey of love.
Yes.
Which Wonderland needs to come into it.
Yeah.
So last night at 1 a.m. I was like, is it like Club Wonderland? Is it, you know, is it like, what is it that you can become a member and then that's forever?
Maybe
you know,
like even milestones.
Yeah, because it's all celebrations. Do you know what I mean? And then we even have people like, for example, if you wanted to do a launch in Sydney and you were like, Wendy, you know, what do I do?
Yeah.
We could easily go, okay, well, why don't we do it at the Park Hyatt?
Yeah.
And why don't we get a beautiful room for you?
Yeah.
And you can book that for 2 days. And so this is what we're doing. We have this like big ecosystem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where businesses work with each other, where we have couples come through, where we have customers through that love journey come through. And we work at every level.
Yeah.
So
it's like trying to figure out like a name to kind
of. It's the nucleus of it all.
Yeah.
Because everyone's coming back.
Yeah.
But they're like, I can't, like they go to their friends like, well, I booked my 50th birthday through Wedded Wonderland. I'm like, that's fine. Just say that. Who cares?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, but hold on a second. Wedded Wonderland is the start.
Yes.
Just like jewelry, just like the engagement ring. It's the start. But now we are continuing that journey and we are seeing a huge repeat in customers from business who even business owners will come and go, hey, like I want to plan my, you know, event, my trunk show or my anniversary or my kid's birthday.
Yeah.
So it's like this, there's this like layers and layers of what we actually do.
Yeah.
And I think people see Wedded and it's amazing.
Yeah. They just think wedding.
But they just think wedding.
Yeah.
But for us, it's that the whole legacy's there.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if I was listening to listening out for your language, everything you've said is love is in all of that.
Yeah.
I feel like that word almost needs to be
the center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because whichever celebration, love is at the core.
It is at the core of it.
And we are love.
Yes.
We actually are love.
Yeah.
And the more we bring that out, the more the event is going to be
that's
full
what
of
we're
love.
finding. Like people with their celebrations now, those who were unable to have the wedding that they wanted, they probably couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
You know, 10 years or 20 years down the line, they're like, well, now I can afford to have the big wedding.
Yeah.
Now I can afford to have my ring remodeled. You know, so I think also that there's something to be said about the fact that, you know, the wedding that you're having right now and the way that you're going to be celebrating moving forward. It's the start of the journey.
Yes.
And don't think that this is the only thing that you're ever going to have in your life.
Yes.
The wedding is so important and we want it to be amazing.
Yeah.
But there are other occasions
Yes.
where you can, you know, as life goes on, whether it's your second wedding, whatever it is, like you can have it.
Yes, exactly.
You know, you don't need to ask permission if you want to have. And that's why, you know, when we see people get attacked when, you know, they have a massive christening for their child and they're like, you know, oh my goodness, you guys spent all that money on flowers. What a waste of money. And I'm like, you don't know what that person's been through.
I know.
That could have taken 10 years for them to have that child.
Exactly.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it could just be just because they want to do
That's
it.
right. And they can afford it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with it. We need to give permission to people also to be able to celebrate the way that they want.
Yes.
At
Without
any
being
given-
judged. And but it's funny. Women are the ones that are attacking.
Oh, they are.
It's horrible. I'm like,
Yeah.
why don't we uplift them?
Yeah,
Why don't we say that that's amazing? Or
Yeah.
your flowers are
Yeah.
beautiful? Or
Yeah.
did you enjoy that? How did
Yeah.
it make you feel?
Yeah.
You know?
So it's really interesting. But what we are finding with jewelry as well, like the tennis bracelets, the tennis rings.
Yeah.
Sorry, the tennis bracelets and the tennis necklaces.
Yeah.
Are huge.
Yeah.
And
Because
they
they're
are
coming back.
anniversary pieces.
And they're anniversary
They're
pieces.
anniversary pieces.
Yeah.
And they're push present.
Yes.
Also is a big one
It's
as
a big
well.
one too. Yeah. We've had a few people say, oh, I want a third ring as
The
a push
eternity,
ring. The
yeah,
eternity is
yeah.
also really big.
Yeah.
But the biggest interest we've seen is probably the pinky and the bangle that's coming in because again it's timeless, but it's different to the tennis because you're seeing tennis everywhere.
You know,
right?
my best friend has always worn a pinky ring.
Oh,
She loves pinky rings. So I'm directly after this.
Yes.
Desiree, if you're listening, I'm going to send you a link, honey. No, because she really, like, that's her thing.
Yes.
And she's always, ever since I've known her, ever since we were 16.
Oh,
years old,
wow.
like she always has worn a pinky ring. She just loves it.
Yeah. I can't
She would just die for that. It's amazing.
Isn't it stunning?
Yeah,
I know,
it is.
and
It's
there's
really
I
good.
did so much research on the design because there's a lot of pieces that have just like one stone, but again, I'm like, why have one when you can have two?
Yeah, like it is quite unique to see a 2-stone on a pinky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And then I also love your, that's
So happy with
beautiful.
it.
Well, hello. That's how it all started,
all
ladies and
started.
gentlemen.